Okay, so to continue on from the previous lesson, we're going to start to add some additional bounds. So go ahead and make sure that the armature is selected and you have switched back to edit mode. Go ahead and now go under file, do save as, and we're going to save it as a new file, rigging lesson 01 b.blend. Go ahead and save it. So we're going to add the jawbone first. So let's go ahead and zoom in, do shift middle mouse button to pan up right where the head is, and press the 3 key to go to your right view. Now click on the head bone over here. Press Shift D. Notice that when you do Shift D and when the bone attaches to your mouse, if the bone that you are duplicating has a parent, this bone is going to get the same parent. You can tell that by looking at this relationship line that's going from the head of this bone to the tail of its parent. Right click to cancel the movement. Now click on the green arrow and take it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Click on the blue arrow and take it up. 1 and then 2. Zoom out. Now click on the tail of this bone and simply just zoom out until you get the big grid units only. Click on this green arrow, take it to the left. 1. Click on the blue arrow and bring it down. 1, 2, and then 3. Zoom in. Now go ahead and click on this blue arrow and bring it up. 1 and then 2. Now do shift middle mouse button to bring it over here. Let's go ahead and save this first. Okay, so now notice that when you duplicated that bone, when you click on this bone, click on its bone tab, it's going to get the same parent, which is bone 004, which is this bone over here. So this bone's parent is this bone over here. We can tell that by looking over here. Now notice that when you click on this bone, the connected button is selected. So when you duplicate a bone and move it, you can see that when we click on this bone, it automatically deselects the connected option over here. Okay, so now if you switch back to pose mode and click on the head bone and press the R key to rotate, you can see that the jawbone is not moving with it because this bone is not the parent of this bone. It's the neck bone. So if you click on the neck bone and rotate, it's of course going to move the jawbone with it. Okay, so we're going to fix that. Go to edit mode over here. So if you click on this bone, you can see that you can remove the parent by clicking on the X. You really don't have to do that. You can simply click on this bone, which is going to be the child, press the shift key down, go find the parent, click it, and now do Control P, and now you're going to do keep offset. If you had chosen connected, it would have taken the head of this bone and attached it to the tail over here, just like how it's happening over here. The head of this bone is connected to the tail of its parent. So now when we switch to pose mode and click on the head bone and press the R key to rotate, the jawbone is moving. So this is what we want. Here I'm just going to switch back to edit mode and go ahead and now save. So what we're going to do now is add the eye bone. So to do this, we're going to first select on the figure over here in the outliner and now switch back to edit mode over here. Now you'll see that we have some vertices selected. If you press the Z key, you can see them. You can zoom out. Just press the A key to deselect, and all you can do is A key to select everything and then A key to deselect everything. Go ahead and press the Z key to zoom in. We're going to go where the eye is. Do shift middle mouse button to pan where the eye is and click on a vertex. Just press the period key on your numpad to home in on it. You can do the middle mouse button to rotate. Zoom in a little bit. Now hover your mouse over a vertex and press the L key. Now press the Z key. You can see that this is just going to select the eyes, which are our separate objects, and it's simply going to select all the vertices. Now because this is a ball shape, this means that when we place the 3D cursor, it's going to be placed in the center of this ball shape object. So just do Shift S and now do cursor to select it. See that the 3D cursor is placed in the middle. Now press the Z key over here. Press the 3 key. Now we're going to switch back to the armature over here and now switch back to edit mode. Now you can add new bones only in edit mode over here on your armature. Now to add a bone, just do Shift A. Now notice that when it adds this bone, it's going to take the head of this new bone and place it where the 3D cursor is. Now if you zoom out, you'll also notice that it automatically selects the tail of the bone that was just added. That's a good thing to know, because we're going to use that a little later, that concept. Now click on this blue arrow and bring it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Go ahead and do Shift middle mouse button to pan. Go ahead and now zoom in, Shift middle mouse button to pan, zoom in a bit more. So we're going to click on the blue arrow and bring it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is going to be a good size for the eye. Do Shift middle mouse button to pan over here. Go ahead and now save your file. I'm now going to explain to you a few things about working with bones in edit mode. Now if you click on the body of this bone, basically what we want to do is rotate this bone by 90 degrees on its head so it faces this direction over here to the left. The tail should be over here. Now if you click on the body of this bone and press the R key to rotate, you'll notice that it's rotating from the center. The reason this is happening is because if you go back to the data tab and click on stick, you'll notice that the 3D manipulator is going to place itself based on what is selected. So here you can see that we select on the tail of this bone, the 3D manipulator is over here. Click on the head, it moves over here. Now when you click on the body of this bone, it's going to select the tail and the head. Basically, it's positioning itself in the center of this object. So when you press the R key, this is why it's rotating from the center. Okay, we're going to switch back to the octahedral mode. Now if you click on the head of this bone and press the R key to rotate, you'll see that it does not rotate. And if you go back to the stick mode and see why it's not doing it, is because you only have one vertex selected. When you press the R key, it's not going to do anything. There's nothing to rotate. Now this is a special functionality of bones. Now if you click on the tail of this bone and press the R key, you'll notice that you can rotate the bone on its head. So you have to click on the tail if you want to rotate the bone on its head. We're going to switch back to the octahedral mode. Now another way that you can rotate this bone is by using the 3D cursor. So if you left click over here, and let's say you right click on the head of this bone and then do Shift S and then do cursor to selected, it's going to move the 3D cursor to the head. Now if you click on 3D cursor, you of course have to select the body of the bone first to select everybody, and now press the R key to rotate, and it will rotate on the 3D cursor. Of course, if you click on the head of this bone, it's not going to do anything, and if you click on the tail of this bone, it'll just work the way it was before. Okay, now we're going to switch back to median point over here. Remember, we've saved this file. We Shift middle mouse button over here. Now I'm going to show you some additional things over here. So first, you should know that when you click on the tail of this bone, you can actually extrude out new bones. So if you press the E key and take it up, you'll see that we can extrude out a new bone. Notice that when you extrude out a new bone by clicking on the tail of this bone, when you click on this bone, its parent, it's going to be bone 0013, meaning that the bone where you extruded out from its tail. Okay, and now notice that when you click on this bone, the connected is automatically checked for you. Okay, now we're going to click on the head of this bone. Press the E key to extrude, and now take it over here. Now notice that when we click on this bone, it did not get a parent because there was no parent for this bone. Okay, I'm going to click on this bone, do X, and now do delete bone. Now notice that when we click on this joint over here, when you click on a joint, you'll see that it says you've selected bone 013, meaning that you've selected the tail of this bone. It doesn't matter how many times you click this, it'll always be this bone. Why is this happening is because if you click on this bone, you'll see that it has the connected feature enabled, meaning that the parent's tail is directly connected to the head of its child. So now when you press the E key to extrude, you'll notice that when we click on this bone, its parent is just going to be bone 0013 over here because we extruded it from the tail. Okay, now I just want to show you something because this can be a little confusing. We're going to X and delete this bone. If you click on this bone and remove the connected, now click on this bone again, click on the green arrow, take it to the right. Notice that you can see the relationship line, meaning that in pose mode, when you click on the parent and rotate it, it's still going to take the child with it. Okay, now if you click on the tail of this bone and extrude it, you'll note that its parent is going to be bone 0013. Now let's try that first. Let's do E to extrude and extrude it. Now if you click this, you'll notice that the parent is not 0013, it's actually this parent, right? Because we were extruding from the tail of this bone. Okay, so now if you click on this over here where the head is, you can see that it's showing the same thing, bone 0013. This is the same thing that it was showing when we clicked over here. See, it's showing the same thing, but when we extrude it out, it changed the parent to this bone, right? Its parent is now this bone. Now when you click on the head and extrude from here, and now when you click it, you'll see that it's getting the same parent, which is this bone. This is because when you click on this bone, it already had a parent, which is bone 0013. So when you click on the head of a bone that has a parent, this new bone, which was extruded from the head, will get the same parent over here. Okay, and now when you extrude it from the tail, if the bone already has a parent, this bone will just get its parent where you extruded from, meaning that it's behaving the same way that it was over here. You might want to just look at this again to try to understand what's going on over here. Click on this, do X and delete this, click on this, X and delete this, click on this, X and delete this. Now click on this bone and take it to the left over here. Now notice that when we click on the tail of this bone and press the R key, we can rotate it. Okay, now if you click over here, remember the connected feature is not enabled right now. So if I just zoom in and click over here, notice what it's selecting first, bone 0013. So if you press the R key to rotate, you can definitely rotate this over here. But if you click over here and click on connected, now if you click on this joint, try to rotate, it's not going to let you rotate. Okay, so to rotate this bone, you can click over here on the body and press the R keys. You'll see that how it's rotating from its center. So over here you would have to switch to the 3D cursor and then rotate. Okay, and of course if you want to rotate all these bones, just press the shift key down and click on this, and because we have the 3D cursor selected, you can rotate it like this over here. Now note that when you're rotating from the 3D cursor, you can place it over here, rotate, you can place it over here, rotate, or you can place it over here anywhere and rotate. Anyways, that's what I wanted to show you about this concept, because we're going to be hitting this pretty soon, this concept of parent and child relationships. So go ahead and now open that file up again where we had just left it. So all we want to do is now rotate this. So we know that we can simply just click on the tail of this bone. Now notice that when we rotate, you need to look over here. It'll show 90 degrees. So press the R key, and now when we rotate, I'm just going to rotate it by 90. Remember, you want to look over here. It's at 90. I'm going to do shift middle mouse button over here. So what we're going to do now is actually turn off the snapping feature. We're going to click on the tail of this bone. We're going to click on this green arrow and now bring it over here. So the question is, where exactly do you place this? Do you place it over here inside the eye, or do you place it a little bit outside the eye? Okay, so here I'm just going to show you that if you go back over here, turn off X-ray mode, you can see that it's peeking out of the eye. I'm going to do the middle mouse button to show you what's going on. See this over here? I'm going to press the 3 key. So if you click on the green arrow, take it all the way inside. Now, because we're going to be using Blender's auto rigging system, what it's simply going to do is shoot rays out of this bone, and if it hits the vertices that are surrounding it, these vertices are going to be assigned to this bone. Okay, so if you place it inside the eye like this, that in X-ray mode that you cannot see the bone, obviously these vertices are going to be attached to this bone. But if you click here on the green arrow and peek this out a little bit like this, what's going to happen is that it's going to shoot rays out of this bone and going to hit some of these vertices over here, and they will also be a part of this eye bone. So when you move this eye bone, you'll start to see these area move. So for now, we're just going to leave this bone like this. Go ahead and switch back to switch the snapping back on. So what we're going to do now is create a relationship for this bone. Click on the eye bone, zoom out, press the shift key down, and now click on the head, and now just do Control P and then do keep offset. So now when we switch to pose mode and click on the head bone, the eye and the jaw will move with it. I'm going to go to the front view and now switch back over here to edit mode. So what we're going to do now is click on this joint over here. We're going to create the shoulder bone. Now you already know what's going to happen, right, when you extrude this. So go ahead and just zoom out over here until you get the big grid units. A to extrude, right click to cancel, click on this red arrow, take it to the right, 1 and then 2, zoom in, the tail is selected, click on the red arrow, bring it in, 1, 2, 3, and now click on this bone. You already know that when we extruded this bone out from here, who is going to be the parent? Of course, it's going to be this bone right here. So we can confirm this by clicking over here. You can see that's the parent. We just understood this when we were looking at the eye bone. So it's connected. So we want to move this bone but still have the relationship. So we know that we're going to have to disable connected. Now watch what happens when we uncheck this. Notice how the 3D manipulator moves. That means the tail of its parent is selected and also this bone is selected. So we have to right click on the body of this bone to make sure that only this bone is selected. You can see that the 3D manipulator did move. So now that confirms to you that only this bone is selected. Click on the blue arrow and bring it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now click on the body of this bone. You can press the Z key to see that that's what I've selected. Click on the red arrow and take it to the right, 1, 2. You can see that you can see the relationship line for this. Go to the top view. Click on this bone and bring it down on the green arrow, 1, 2. Now click on the body of this bone and bring it down on the green arrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to the front view over here. Okay, so now if you switch back to pose mode and now click on this bone, press the R key, you can see that this shoulder bone is moving. And actually, if you zoom out, you'll see that all the children are moving. Remember, you can only see this in pose mode, not in edit mode. So here we're just going to switch to edit mode. And over here, what we're going to do is actually pick this up in the next lesson where we'll start to add some additional bones. I'm just going to zoom out like this, and I'm going to do a final save on this file. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.